Says the state might want to consider legalizing marijuana to cut down on property taxes. Governor Pillen tells Channel 6 News that if lawmakers develop a plan to reduce property taxes and find the votes to pass it, he will call senators back to Lincoln for a special session. Governor Pillen has talked about shifting about $1 billion through creating new revenue through taxing candy, soft drinks, or services, or ending some exemptions. Today at the weekly Douglas County Commissioners meeting, Commissioner James Cavanaugh says that property relief won't come to Nebraskans unless the state creates a new revenue source.
One of them that other states have looked at successfully is legalizing recreational marijuana. I know there's been marijuana initiatives up in the legislature in the last few years. Our surrounding neighbors are passing these and realizing new revenue sources. I think Colorado's in the $500 million worth of new revenue from this. It seems that that might be, one way to go to identify potential state funding sources to replace lost revenue.
Cavanaugh says moving funding sources around between property, sales, and income taxes will not work.